Releasing the golf club. This is something that will just be talked about forever. Let's talk about some ideas, some basics, to give you some understanding of what you might want to see, feel when you release the club to get the best shots for your golf. Welcome to my video, everyone. If you're looking at release ideas, hopefully this video will help you. This was filmed at PJ Catalunya in Spain, one of the best golf resorts I think I've been to in Spain. Look at the video, it just looks absolutely stunning. Thanks to Your Golf Travel for sending us over there. Loads of videos coming from PJ Catalunya soon as well, so maybe if you want to check out the channel a bit more, you'll see them. If you're new here, give the channel a subscribe. If you're already subscribed, give that little bell icon a ring. Lots of you are doing it. Would like a few more of you to do it, please. Thank you. Question up in the top left here, release. Is it something you've practiced, something you think you understand or not? Up there. Is it something you practice to try and improve your golf? Let's get releasing. So what is releasing the golf club? For me, I would say releasing the golf club is basically a release of all the energy I've built up in the swing. It's like a throw. It's like me throwing the ball and letting that ball go. So I'm going to hit a 7-iron up here, and what I'm going to do is throw my energy towards my target. I'm going to throw the energy I create in my swing at the ball and then out in front of me towards that club. Now, what people see as a release is they'll see great pictures of fantastic players in these kind of positions here on the way through. They see in magazines and on videos and on TV, those kind of ideas, where when you look at maybe your release in your golf swing, when you video your swing, things like that, you're seeing kind of these patterns or this pattern. You're seeing a very different shape. Let's give you some basic ideas of what the release actually is. First thing I want you to stop thinking about as a real fact, and we'll come back to this point later in the video, is feeling like you need to roll the club over this way to release it. If we look at the side-on view of my release here, basically all this is this position. So club out in front of me, club face pointing straight at the target, out in front of me, and then with my right shoulder lower than left, hips turned through, and then my hands look like they've crossed. They've not crossed at all. I've literally just turned my body to face that way, but my head and parts of my being are still back here, because my feet are still back here even though this one's up. My head is still back here even though everything else has gone through. I have not rotated the club. I have not turned it in any way. All it's doing is turning as I turn, as my body turns, and as my arms turn around and out in front of me. Now, if you want to feel that you roll your wrist to hit the shot, so think of the word I said there, the key word is feel. So if you want to feel like you're coming here and turning right hand over left, and that makes you get into a similar position that I'm getting into here, gets you into a functional position for your golf, then use that feeling. That feeling works. But the facts, the truth are, if you are turning the club around the axis of the shaft, you're going to be turning the face left of where it started, and you're certainly going to be taking loft off. Now, there's an element where you might need some of that, but naturally you could be doing that without having to flip the club, as people would call it. Now, things that affect your release. So the reasons why you might see someone like Jordan Spieth having a very different release to someone like Nick Faldo had, for instance. So Jordan coming through with more of a hold-off chicken wing to Faldo with that more classical finish, is that they're starting in different places. They're starting with different grips. They're using the club face in different ways. So your release has to marry up your patterns of your swing. So the reason you're going to see a lot of those guys and girls on telly with this classic release is they've had years and years of coaching and they're swinging in a very orthodox manner. But you're going to find plenty of good players who do get some funky releases because of the matchups they're making in their other movements. To give you an idea, if I start with a really strong grip, seeing 4 knuckles, right hand underneath the club here. Now, when I hit this shot, I can't do the release that I feel, because what happens is the club face now starts pointing down at the ground. So the pattern of my release now is going to have to be more held off, where the hands and the club look like they're going through together. You might find that there's different amounts of body rotation, body turn. Vice versa to that, if you're someone like Jordan Spieth who's got a weaker grip, you're going to see some different wrist angles coming on backswings and downswings and then in release as well. It's got to match your patterns. That's the key element with the release. So the trick with the release is to really get it to fit for you. Your basic principles of what you want to happen is you want energies being thrown down at the ball, out in front of you, and towards your target. You want the energy going through that ball. It's going to launch it up in the air with any kind of loft, so you're not twisting that off, and it's going to give you some direction on your golf shots. Now, the biggest patterns I see in mistakes for release are people using their arms more than their body, those kind of ideas. So your basic principles, when I'm coming down to hit the ball, I want to feel that my body is turning. So as I hit the ball, my body is already starting to open up towards that target. My shoulders are already opening up towards that target. I've got my pressure on my front foot. With these pressures on my front foot, I'm actually feeling like I'm pushing up through the ground from my left leg as well. I'm trying to, believe it or not, push up, which is something people are scared to do because they're scared of topping it. But me pushing up through this left leg actually sends the club down more, believe it or not. Key tip I give for toppers often, try and feel like you're coming up through your left side as you hit the ball. It drops the right side, it drops that club actually a bit lower. So as that club comes through and my weight's all turning through, I'm letting that club simply pass out in front of me. My arms, everything stretches, right arm across my chest. I'm not trying to put any rotations in. Remember, I've got quite an orthodox backswing, which is why that's happening. And I'm letting that energy fly out towards that target, then up over my left shoulder. Couple of drills for some ideas of how to control and feel what's going on in your release. Always like a split hand drill for release, so right hand lower than left on the club. See, I've got it right hand basically on the metal, left hand on top of the grip. Then do your normal swing and just stop on that follow through position. Ideally this club will now be more parallel with the line of your feet on the ground. If you've got lots of twists in there, you're going to really feel. So no twists, you're going to feel a gap between your arms. Loads of twists, you're going to feel that the right arm really wants to bang into the left and the left collapses. Trying to get that stretch out in front of you with your arms just touching on the way through. Gives you a really good feeling with a split hand drill. One other quick idea you can do as well, just feel like one hand doing your release. So right hand to start, feel what's happening, what twists and turns you're putting in. You'll feel it with one hand, then do it with your left. Feel which one has more control, which one wants to put more turns or not in, which one wants to break down, because you'll find little culprits in there between the two of them not working together. Give this a practice, let me know if it helps. Post comments down below. Releasing the golf club is basically that club just going out in front of you. The biggest trick is getting it to match your other patterns in your golf swing.